My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. License 1070957. This is the school district CJHSD, I believe. Can't really see it. It's a white utility truck. And guess what? Directed light inside of the vehicle while that demon driving that utility vehicle while the fake sun is over me at the address of 1444 North Euclid Avenue, or 1444 Euclid Avenue. That's impossible light activity, 8RKL406. But you're seeing what is that ongoing pattern of conduct. This is what the state is doing with the light source over Dunkin' Donuts and directed light inside of that venue. It's demonic activity. 52638C3. Ontario Refrigeration, 56154N1. And this demonic activity is speaking to what is also monitoring with communication devices. 52638C3. 6YIX428. It's 8:47 a.m.
But there are, people are suffering for other things. I have to mention that, the policies,
License 55219U2, Turf Tech. 8RBG942. 7KPS 258. 56610D2. 7UIU933. 04958Z2. License plate 5ZOZ394 87Z0253 8NGA497. Capturing the state's fake sun, 8:48 a.m. A highly illustrated time, 8TXT436, showing what is the maintenance central presence of a light source that's not possibly the sun, 6RZC952, in relevant position while I'm capturing this video, while the light source is moving in the direction north, not stationary at the B&G Plaza. Okay, necessarily remaining as I am advancing north of Euclid Avenue. Okay, and also doing so at this time while you are looking at what is the use of light in a vehicle in the path, and you're looking at the light source above. That's the context. It's the absence of any normalcy in conduct. These are means of maintaining those elements. And also, as I'm speaking to on my podcast, because this is what is the P.O.C. and it's what's ongoing, directed light is appearing inside of the car. And I mean shooting directed light. That ongoing demonic signature, all right, while the surveillance is underway. There is no form. The light source is directly over this third party's venue who is in a white pickup truck, and the light source is directly over their venue as well. That is impossible to coexist when the sun is supposedly over me while I'm on the bus going to the Fontana Metrolink station. At 8:48 a.m. I'm showing you that while I'm facing south at the B&G Plaza. Facing south, I would never be able to, and the light source is nowhere in the direction of the 10 freeway Euclid Avenue. Facing south, I'm showing you what is Center Ice Arena. United Rentals crossing path. I'm showing you what is the Center Ice. That's the direction I'm facing. I'm not facing Ontario Town Square Townhomes, for example, which is the direction, and that is relatively speaking, but that is the direction I will be facing if the light source, as it is now, over me while going north of Euclid Avenue, is going to be over any third party's house while going north of Euclid Avenue. But like I said, that's just common sense. You're looking at what is stalking with the light source. 4177P2, I believe. 04177P2. That's a large construction truck. They're engaging in P.O.C. at the 10th freeway. Those are just as you've seen with McCarthy. Everything is serving that ongoing monitoring system, and driving a construction vehicle is no form for any demon, first of all. And second of all, while the light source, again, remains over them, wearing a hard hat's no form, you're talking about what is also crossing a path using those construction vehicles while the light source remains in perfect alignment with me. I am nowhere near Euclid Avenue. Going on Route 61, you're going east and west, as I documented as I went on one day, which is January 27th, while I'm already in Pomona, okay, on Holt Boulevard, which turns into Holt Avenue, continuing in the west direction. That is not coexisting and not able on any day to capture what is supposedly the sun that is now today remaining in the window of the vehicle while proceeding north of Euclid Avenue. And that's the common sense that I continue to point out. While the state kept the light source over the Dunkin' Donuts for in excess of 7 hours yesterday. That's literally 8HAU 621. That ongoing pattern of conduct, all right? 8JIE 745, and it's currently 8:53 a.m. in the city of Upland. 7RMM 330, 8EPZ 843, 8XTH 976, 8GPJ 591, 8Y43 954, 7VCD 270. San Bernardino County Fire, I've already documented them. Those demons with directed light while they're crossing path under the fake sun. They're monitoring right now. It's Arrow Highway and Euclid Avenue. 8:57 a.m. 8DKB 681 monitoring with them. Directed light shooting inside of the car while they're 2 lanes away. 6TIF 275. 38664LS. And Ontario Fire are sounding sirens at the moment that I grab from my phone and document the directed light that's occurring in the car while demons are 2 lanes away, turning onto Arrow Highway. Okay, and that's exactly what they are while that impossible light activity is ongoing. It's 8:57 a.m. 8TXN 250, 8RYT 763, 6LMG 325, 6ZIK 285, 80615E3, 8UPT 006. This is at Foothill and Euclid Avenue. 8PCH 737. Demons making a U-turn on Foothill, and they engage in what is, guess what? While they supposedly don't know how to drive, directed light on the black asphalt in relevant position. License 8VSV 831. 7EZU 463, 8BWSO 75, 7ZUC 670, 7XVF 619, 5FQR 655, 6YMH 981, 8ZSP 511, 60911973, 70987V2, 49417U1. It's crossing a path. All right, all of them demons. It's not a matter of a demon not knowing how to drive. That's why directed light is moving across the asphalt and possible light activity, and that's why that which is not the sun at 9 o'clock in the morning is over the intersection. All right, license plate 8RHZ357, 8K35026. And it's not just the fact that it's over the intersection. You're remembering, again, I'm not just pointing out the times and showing the ongoing conflict with what is not possibly the sun. The entity is following from place to place. So you're also looking at what is the entirely different locations where I come from, and then the times where the entity is documented at being even at a same place at the times they are. It's the totality of that picture. All right, so you have the light source over Vaughn's at 9 o'clock in the morning, following from, remember, 630 North for north up Euclid Avenue. Being over Vaughn's is never going to coexist with being over the Pomona Regional Transit Center, where I am documenting the Pomona Police Department and the United States Postal Service. While it is directly over my head, that is the light source, and you're also looking at what is that demonic light on the ground, which I was showing you. The mark of demon possession. Satan itself hovering in a light source over that Pomona Regional Transit Center, where I remained. All right, but you have today, which is February 7th, 2021. You have what is the light source at 9:01 and following en route. In direct conflict with being in any direction, commensurate, similar, coexisting with going westbound on Holt Boulevard into the city of Pomona. Okay, street for street, turn for turn, to get to where I am now, just like as I showed you. North up Euclid Avenue, remaining in the window the entire time. It's 9:01 a.m. and this is documentation of what is sexual violence while the entity is then monitoring while your panties are down. Okay, surveillance. while the government is hovering via aircraft, keeping a light source, demons crossing path and engaging in their Star Trek-like conduct while they're all together engaging in surveillance inside of a private space. It's 9:02 a.m. All right, monitoring on a communication device while I'm capturing the video of the fake sun, 8DST462, 7TQD874, 8KVG447, 7VXJ911, 8SJN188, 5DIA720, 7YQW181, AS517, handicap. Understand the same predatory conduct, maintaining presence in the path while the state is molesting during the day with directed light and keeping a fake sun directly over my head. It's the same conduct. They are molesting in that regard. The ongoing objective with directed light is accomplished while the state keeps a fake sun, even though it's directly revealed what they are doing. But I'm showing you it is the same exact P.O.C. while you are molesting at nightfall with headlights, stalking in the path, maintaining crossing and path conduct, manning the path everywhere that I'm going. So I just want to be clear. The fake sun is over me accomplishing that ongoing predatory purpose. It's 9:05 a.m. And this is Vaughn's in Upland at, I believe, 81 West Foothill Boulevard. It is 9:08 a.m., flashing of directed light into the depths of the Vaughn's grocery store. And you also have directed light at the entrance of the store where employees are engaging in relevant positioning, standing by the flowers. This is P.O.C, indeed, federal stalking inside of the private space. I've already documented Vaughn's, and this is the conduct of the sex offender. It is 9:09 p.m., an overweight Latino male exiting out of the bathroom while that flashing light is occurring. I just want to document this. This is P.O.C. See, 8G 67667 62459H3. Directed light inside of the grocery store, okay, on the wall, impossible light activity, let alone moving it on the floor inside while those demons cross paths. That's what surveillance is. 6LXD000. And these are demons, again, Eric Rodriguez, that's a third party. And this is one that is a manager of some sort. I want to be clear, that's documentation of a third party engaging in what is sexually violent surveillance. And it is identification of a person that is identified as the people of the state while that name is showing up on the registers. And I'm at this venue subject to that sexual violence. And in the same way, that directed light that I showed you at Dunkin' Donuts yesterday, that is the light activity that an entity aims inside of a bathroom, outside of the bathroom while you're walking to the bathroom, and while they're also monitoring your documentation. And that is speaking to the ongoing P.O.C. And then you have what are the demons that then go into the bathroom. All right, this is all manner of a sexually violent threat, and also doing so while you are documenting them. 8DST662, 8RHP693. I will remind you about that directed light that you saw inside of Dunkin' Donuts. This is what the state is doing, aiming it all around the wall space of the bathroom hallway, aiming it into the venue inside of the doors of the Vaughn's while minions are in the parking lot crossing path. And this is that's the exact same pattern of conduct. That's the directed light that I'm referencing that occurs indoors, inside of bathrooms, outside of bathrooms, speaking to surveillance that you remain subject to, speaking to demons who maintain knowledge of what you are doing, let alone the fact that it is an entity engaging in surveillance with the government. All right, so you want all manner. This is understanding what is invasion of privacy by an entity. And that is that which is never contemplated with regard to federal legislation. This is not invasion of privacy by a person. This is invasion of privacy by a government who is criminally monitoring with the people of the state, and of that condition which is relevant to terrorism, demon possession. All right, that's why the light source is over this venue. That's why that directed light conduct is occurring, and that is the conduct of the sex offender. And that's exactly what the entity is doing, aiming that directed light inside of the grocery store. That's documentation of terrorism and the sex offender. And that is by virtue of the light source over the venue. But that directed light that you see, and again, I will remind you with that video, that's exactly what the entity is aiming onto the bathroom walls. While it's a matter of public information, by the way, that I am going to the bathroom, where I'm going, the direction I'm walking, as I'm there, these are demons that surround. 7NFY041, 8ROU672, 22108D3. All right, and understanding, again, also 8SMH787, that is the purpose of amplified audible activity through the walls and doors. And again, you're talking about what is a demonic environment. You're talking about the artificial creation of noise while that engineered light, that light activity is ongoing. 8WPE417. And that is literally demonic activity in a bathroom. 7E473298 8SMG018 when you're subject to surveillance. R448XO. 7YGB681 8K35026 5ARK709, I believe. And it is currently at 9:19 a.m.
That's right, brother. Because I live here.
Why? Do you want to go to the country station? Did you lose yourself on the way to KLOI?
Right. KLOI.
They trying to do what Steve Harvey
7ADZ450. 8XXN280. 8FTW689. 8NHR410. I believe I read that one already. 7ZFC057. 7U07282. In case I did not read that one. License 8LPR998. 7LLP134.
Controlled chaos.
It's 9:20 a.m.
Hi, it's Chuck Divine in Snow Country. We just
4JFM4. I can't see the rest of that one.
And they took advantage of it on a few of their trails, and they're skiing and rocketing on 46.
8C29725. 7YCM952. 7PJV189. All right, also want to document when I'm in the park, 8WCP279 in the parking lot of the Vons at 81 West Foothill when I'm speaking to the directed light conduct, and then you're understanding when the entity is doing that in the private space, around the private space, you are subject to surveillance and demons are engaging in surveilling you. M208YO, the San Bernardino County Fire Department crossing path in that venue, 62272V2, as I'm reciting that information. It's 9:21 a.m. 8TTG243 7DVZ386. License 6FWJ596 8VQZ231 or 8VOZ231. License 6WRL870. License 6VGN. I can't see the rest of that one. 8RVJ192. I'm sorry, 8NVJ192. 8CZU584. 8PPH441. And it's 9:22 a.m. 7SRD584. 8PDC305. 8WEL808. 8PRY889. 1170536, 1607235, City of Upland, 5D85205.
You want to sit over here and wait?
4KEF108. That's American Medical Response. I'll show you the fake sun that's right over me. That's audible activity. It's at 9:26 a.m. at the Upland Public Library and the Upland City Hall. They're monitoring. That's called audible activity while minions are engaging in that same obsessive stalking in the path. I change function on my phone, demon comes out of the blue, crossing path. That's P.O.C. Including Tracy Banks, she's right there in relevant position. You see the fake sun. This is in the city of Upland. This is not remaining anywhere over the parking lot of Dunkin' Donuts, by the way. I just want to point that common sense out to you. Engineered light and the light source is over. Sounding sirens is audible activity by also what is relevant, a demon that is driving an ambulance vehicle engaging in state surveillance. This is P.O.C. All right, it is 9:30 a.m. I did capture another video showing what is the light source that remains over me at today. We're nowhere near 355 South Mountain Avenue. Being in the city of Upland is not remaining in one position where that was supposedly the sun is going to be central over everyone's head. All right, if it's speaking to what I'm showing, because the actual sun's not targeting one person, right? Right? The sun as we know it. And so you're talking about what is being in the city of Upland as I am today, as opposed to being in Upland and coming from 630 North Fern and taking an entirely different route. And that light source remaining street for street, turn for turn, that is from 630 North Fern, where the light source is already documented much earlier than 8:27 a.m. departing from that address, documentation of what's not the sun, going what is north on Fern and then west on G Street and then north on Mountain Avenue, and doing so and remaining over me at that address all day long is not coexisting. And that address is in Upland, right? on Mountain Avenue. In Upland on Euclid Avenue, the state coming and remaining over 630 North Fern at a later time. Again, already documented, I'm at for an entirely different address, 7:35 a.m. Starbucks, for example. But you have the light source that is not in some illusion of being far away and yet at the same time hovering over 630 North Fern, which is exactly what one would be suggesting, which is impossible because you are looking at the light source that remains over me street for street, turn for turn. All right. So you were talking about what is remaining over a venue, in alignment, in direct conflict with what would actually be the sun, which would be engaging that with predictable and consistent presence based on what is an ongoing orbit movement, all right? And how do we identify that time of day, all right? You're talking about what is remaining as I remain and moving then as I move over the exact location where I am. And also doing so as I showed today, and then going in an entirely different direction, north of Fern Avenue, east on G Street, turning to go toward what is onto Laurel to get to what is Hope Boulevard. And then she turns west on Hope Boulevard, and I've shown this before. Then she gets on Euclid Avenue and drives north. And this is where I capture video. This is right where the same bus stop is where I was on February 4th, 2022. I'm at that bus stop after 2 p.m. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm showing you the video of the light source remaining over me at that intersection, remaining in alignment with me on the window. Being on the opposite side of the same street is documentation of what is not the sun. All right. That's what I'm speaking to. That's the impossible presence of a light source that's not the sun. And then you engage in a whole grand departure when you're remaining over a particular address, a specific address where I remain all day. And that is exactly what is remaining as video documentation, because it's before that, but I have it on video, 9:02 a.m. and still images at 4:50 p.m. And not only that, then you have what is directed light reaching into the depths all around, from the ceiling down to the floor into the depths of the hallway of a single address. All right, that is conduct of what is not the sun. So anyway, you have understanding that it's not just the fact that you're over in a place that's clearly conflicting with regard to what you would want to claim is some sun. This is impossible. All right. And that's just yesterday. You're talking about, again, when I'm on the Omnitrans bus and I am already en route to the Fontana Metrolink train station, and I show you video of, as I'm arriving at the Fontana Metrolink train station, I'm showing you video while the bus is driving on properties and driving in different streets in different directions in another city, and the light source is remaining over me in that window. That's not coexisting with remaining and being over Dunkin' Donuts stationary all day long for an excess of 8 hours. That's not coexisting at all with regard to what is the sun as we know it, okay? And so you have what is also that directed light. That's the direct proof of what is not the sun, okay? So I'm not only showing you that, I'm showing you what is directed light, engineered lights, demonic. I'm telling you what this light source is. It's not the sun as you know it. It's not the sun as we understand it. It is not possibly the sun as we have been told that this light source is. You're talking about what is the presence of Satan itself, and you are also understanding and witnessing the proof of what is not the sun when you're seeing that directed light. This is the evidence that the demon possessed the people of the state. Those in the fire department truck that you hear now, those giving you an example of the presence of Satan as well. Okay, sitting at the Carnegie Library, it's already vividly published. All right, and that directed light coming toward me while those demons cross path in this very parking lot of the Upland Public Library. While, again, the fake sun was over the Carnegie Library. When I stopped going to the Upland Public Library, guess what? Fake sun was no longer over the Carnegie Library. It's not present over any building in the parking lot where these demons are engaging in surveillance now. It's remaining over me where I am in Ontario, 630 North Fern, to the B&G Plaza, or to the 150 East Holt, the San Bernardino County building, wherever it is that I go, or to the Stater Brothers. That's not coexisting with remaining over the roof of a Carnegie Library and then hopping in the same parking lot to then be over the Upland Public Library all day long. By the way, the video documentation that I'm capturing at 9:30 this morning, it's 9:35 now, the state's light source, this is documentation, the state's fake sun, as I come up Euclid Avenue on May 4th, 2022. This is what I mean. This is surrounding with the documentation, and that's how you're understanding the significance of what you are hearing is called audible activity. Those are demons creating audible activity under what is not possibly the sun. Because not only is the actual sun going to be over my head in the city of Upland, following street for street, turn for turn, when I'm already in the city of Pomona, as I documented on January 27th. And when I'm already at Starbucks, and I remain there, okay, for a series of hours. You're talking about January 22nd, January 30th, 2022. You're talking about going in vastly different directions. And you have what is, there's that. And then, but you also have what is the entity engaging in what is the maintenance of this light source, in direct conflict with what I'm showing you as the entity is present over me with the light source as I come to this same venue on May 4th, 2022 in the evening. This is what I'm showing you when I'm on the route 83 bus coming north, going beyond, getting off the bus stop that is at Arrow Highway, is going past the Upland Public Library. That's common sense. The state is keeping the fake sun over the roof of the Upland Public Library while I'm inside of it and present, arriving after the 10 o'clock in the morning. After 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, that's what I'm showing you at 10:09 when I arrive. All right, I'm sorry, it's actually 10:05. 10:09 is when I'm showing you the back parking lot. Where the state is at the same time I'm showing you at the Dunkin' Donuts, where I'm at the facing the parking lot inside of the library. This is what I mean by asininity. You're talking about just revealing Satan, period. That's it, and that's what it is. It's not just the fact that you understand this is not the sun, and I'm showing you this in a common sense, logical manner, breaking it down. But it's even more than that. It's not just the fact that it's not the sun. It's answering the question of what it is. This is the supernatural. It is demon possession as you're witnessing it. Those are demons in a fire truck. Those were moments prior. Those are demons in an ambulance vehicle. Okay. And this is the presence of Satan itself present in the environment, keeping that which is not the sun, as I'm revealing that to you in documentation that is published for your own eyes to see. Right. So you're talking about what is the maintenance of a light source everywhere that I'm going. And it is over the property. Again, the significance, the substance of this documentation, again, present in the morning at 9:30, showing you at the property of the Upland Public Library, the Upland City Hall, the documentation showing what is the light source that's remaining both before I arrive. Remember, 10:05 in the morning, 10:09 in the morning, 48 hours ago, I arrived here. The state's fake sun is here prior to that time. But what did I show you at 9:47 when I'm still in the city of Ontario getting on the Route 83 bus? The state's fake sun is remaining over me at the intersection, the same intersection that it was at, the same intersection where it was located on May 4th. So May 5th, I get on the bus, Route 83, and this is supposedly the sun that's in Ontario over me at the same, but you know that that's not. It's at the same intersection at 9 something in the morning, where it was at 2:45, 3:15 p.m. on the same street. Okay, that's impossible, and I pointed that out. But not only that, you're talking about what is the light source that is, just like I showed this morning, remaining in alignment with me as I move going north up Euclid Avenue. That's exactly what the entity was doing as I arrived after 3 p.m. on May 4th, 2022. And then I go to the Upland Public Library. The next day, as I arrive in the morning, 10:05 in the morning, the state's fake sun is already present here. I'm sorry, not already present. It is present as I arrive here. As I remain in Ontario, it's 9:39 a.m. Okay, so it's getting around the time where I'm getting on the bus and traveling north and showing on video the movement of the light source extending over what is the Ontario Town Square, which is the exact location which I showed this morning, the McCarthy construction site where the Ovid Family Community Library is, and moving as I move. Not remaining over the B&G Plaza. That is all that is relevant and significant to that, because it's not just showing where I'm at in the time of day at the same location. If the sun was moving on that other day at that time, so how is it remaining over me in the same identical pacing moment? It's present here. It would be somewhere else at a different time. You're talking about moving as I move. All right. As opposed to, and don't forget, 630 North Front, the state's fake sun is still remaining there at 10:37 a.m. on January 23rd, 2022. You can't forget that. Like I said, it is an ongoing body of evidence that is showing what is not possibly the sun under any circumstances. While in transit, coming to this venue today, and I'm here earlier than I was on February 6th, 2022. I'm sorry, February 5th, 2022, where I arrive at 10:05 in the morning. 9:47 in the morning is when I get off the bus. Route 83. At the 7-Eleven at 204 North Euclid Avenue. I am here earlier, already on the grounds of the Upland Public Library. The state's fake sun that's over me while I'm showing you the freedom, the wall, the Veterans Monument Project, where directed light is present, where the light source is directly over me, where I'm showing you it's exceeded beyond this property while it's over my head at the Vaughn's parking lot, and remaining, again, street for street, the moment that I move, remaining over the windshield of the vehicle. This is every move that I am making with that which is not possibly the sun. Because why else? Not only remaining at 630 North Fern, not only showing you the fact that I was already present in the city of Ontario, and I'm showing you the light source that's remaining in step with me in a different city while I'm en route to the city. Today, I'm already in the city, exceeding beyond what is Euclid Avenue, the street for street, turn for turn, stalking conduct with a light source. I go to Vaughn's and then come back, go to the Upland Public Library, all ahead of schedule. Schedule speaking to specifically the schedule that is documented on February 5th, 2022. I don't get off of the bus in the city of Upland until 9:47 a.m. And I'm showing you the fake sun that's over me at that property. All right, so while I'm standing in this parking lot and you are listening to the sirens of American Medical Response, those are demons that are creating a soundtrack. while demons are patrolling all around on foot and in their vehicles, under what is a light source that is not possibly the sun. What coexists with that? Yesterday, the fact that the state in conflict with all of that kept the fake sun over Dunkin' Donuts at 355 South Mountain Avenue. All right. So like I said, you have what is the entity engaging in the placement over me with a light source that is not possibly the sun. It is beyond that, though. This is not just, not only is it not the sun, it is Satan itself. These are the demon possessed. That is Satan itself. The people that surround, this is demon possession. That's what that is. That's what it's revealing. That directed light that you see, for exact, like I documented again, I've documented this hundreds of times. You have what is directed light flashing into a building where that's not even the sun. Okay, and first of all, that's not even form. In other words, you're not claiming, oh, that's completely normal. That's sunlight. No, you don't have that as form. That is absolutely abnormal, impossible light activity, first of all. Second of all, the light source is above the building, and that is not form. The light source being present is not form for what is that inexplicable light. It's demonic. It's impossible. It is speaking to the same impossibility of that being the sun. It is direct evidence of that as well. In the same way that I'm pointing out common sense to you, I was here at this time. I went here. You saw the fake sun remain over me as I went there. And yet as I go to a different location, you have the impossibility of that light source remaining central over there and over here at the same time. Where I go to the same place at the beginning of the day, the same place at the end of the day, you have what is maintaining central presence and alignment in direct conflict with what would be the sun. All right. And also the whole bigger picture is you don't want to get lost in the trees is the fact that the actual sun is not remaining on a single street. It is not remaining over the heads of everyone at the same time, everywhere that they are going. And that's what I'm documenting. All right. And so you're talking about, let me break that down. What I'm documenting is the light source that's remaining over me everywhere that I'm going. And that's exactly what that light source with regard to what is not the sun is revealing. But like I said, even if you want to take it out of the context, oh, you're just, I'm some narcissist and I'm just thinking it's all about me. It's over everyone. No, it's not. Because when everyone else goes left or right, for example, when Omnitrans drops me off at 204 North Euclid Avenue, that fake sun remains over me at 7-Eleven where I got off the bus. It's not maintaining ongoing real-time movement. All right. As fast or slow as I am moving, that's how that light source is going. And that light source is not remaining in a window of the bus that is going also at the same time eastbound toward the city of Fontana while I am on the Route 83 bus going north of Euclid Avenue and getting off at the 7-Eleven. No, it's not coexisting and remaining and hovering inside of windows of vehicles. All right. While aiming that impossible light activity, this is a pattern of stalking with light. It is not remaining stationary over the Pomona Transit Regional Center. And it's not just stationary there. It is maintaining central presence as I show. It's not even relative to what is placement remaining over the B&G Plaza, which is my presence documented at the same time where I make a trip and go to the Pomona Transit Center. It's not there. It is central over me, over the property. It's not relative to the city of Ontario, which is east of the city of Pomona. It remains with me. That's why I also show you when in motion, this light source is moving. And it's stationary. That's why I can stay at the B&G Plaza for over 2 hours and it doesn't go anywhere. And then the moment that I move, 2 hours and 1 minute, I move, the light source moves. All right. That is movement. That is not some vague, ongoing, omnipresent light source, which is not the sun anyway. The sun is engaged in ongoing movement. Remaining at a single address for a series of 7 hours is not going to result in the ability to capture that light source all day long. It is to the exclusion of not only any other city, but let alone any other state. I literally looked at it while inside of the venue and stepping outside and showing the roof above Dunkin' Donuts yesterday. It's not in the city of Nevada. It's not in the city of Florida. All right. And we are Pacific Standard Time. So you're talking about what is 4:50 p.m. That's 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. That is to the exclusion of this is just on and on and on, the ongoing common sense. Capturing this video this morning at 9:30, being at the property. I was not even in the city of Ontario on February 5th, 2022. I got on the bus. I showed you the fake sun moving over me while on the bus. Arriving at the 7-Eleven. I'm still not at the property yet. I arrive at 7-Eleven at 9:46, 9:47 in the morning. I arrive and show you at 10:05 a.m. where then the fake sun's not in front of me. The state's fake sun's not already over the parking lot of the Upland Public Library. It's not over the back portion of the library, while it's also over me on the bus moving toward north up that direction. That defies common sense. It's remaining central over my head while doing so. And so you have what is the light source that is present over me as I arrive. and I arrive here earlier than scheduled. And also that timestamp speaking to what is the maintenance of presence at this venue, which is impossibility as well. When you're looking at the big picture, the light source is not remaining over the Upland Public Library all day long. It is to the exclusion of any other location. While you're understanding what is the pattern of conduct, the pattern of conduct is that which is witnessing demonic activity, the presence of Satan. This impossibility that I'm continuously, this paradox that I'm continuously pointing out is revealing what is a system of surveillance. And that directed light that is present is also the direct evidence of that. All right, you're talking about what is not the sun, as I'm pointing out. Okay, how would it be present here when I'm still in Ontario yesterday? It's not both over here remaining at the same. No, it's not, because that's why I'm showing you while I move to this location, it's moving with me, remaining over me. All right, it's not going both ways. It's not such a monstrous star that it's hovering over me, and that's the experience of everybody in the city of Upland who are far away from me. They're looking at the same hovering light source. No, it's not. It's remaining over me as I approach that venue. You can clearly see it is nowhere near the city of Upland while I'm sitting at the B&G Plaza. It's not hovering over the Vaughn's parking lot while I'm sitting at the B&G Plaza, facing south, remaining. It's not hovering over the Pomona Regional Transit Center while I'm sitting at the 7-Eleven, and you're looking at the light source that remains there in conflict with already published documentation. All right, so this is how you know this is not the sun from the outset, but it's just an ongoing revealing of what it is to be understood. This is stalking with light. That's demonic. This is what demons do. All right, this is what Satan, through the people of the state, are doing. These are the demon-possessed. Satan itself is present in the form of a light source, which you, as we understand, or originally have been told, is the sun. It's not possibly the sun. It's not the sun that we have been taught about. It is not possibly that. All right, and this is why I'm addressing things that you have been told about, too, such as global warming. And that is nonsense. And it does not even jive with what the entity is being documented as engaging in. And by entity, I'm referencing both the public entity and the demonic entity. This is the conduct of Satan as it is acting through a government and a people engaging in what is surveillance. All right. So you have what are the demon possessed engaging in an unspoken system, and they can walk around acting like they're normal all they want. All I had to do was walk inside a Dunkin' Donuts and show you what is that flashing directed light. That is the evidence of their demon possession. And they are psychopaths that know that they're being documented. All right. This is the conduct of what Satan wants to appear and not address. It's unspoken. It's an unspoken system. And while that light source remained over 355 South Mountain Avenue, all right, while I'm standing outside of that building and while I remain inside and showing you what's supposedly then the sunset inside of the Dunkin' Donuts over the same parking lot, I'm literally looking at the object itself, the object that's supposed to be the sun. It's not possibly the sun. And it's also not going to be visible while I'm inside of the Upland Public Library at 10:09 in the morning. And it's also not going to be over me inside of the parking lot of the Upland Public Library while it's remaining over specifically the property of the Dunkin' Donuts. All right. And that is just revealing as to what I documented. It's currently 9:49 a.m. And guess what? The light source remains stationary here. It's not already like I captured in that video at approximately 9:30, a little bit after 9:30. And the light source is not coming from some 7-Eleven. It's already here over me, just like I showed you at this monument wall, where I'm revealing the absolute hypocrisy of a government, where this demonic system of state surveillance is occurring over this wall, where they are speaking of freedom and engaging in what is the placement of a monument for veterans who have supposedly died for this country that's engaging in this demonic system of surveillance, criminal conduct. That's what these veterans died for. All right. That is literally the culmination and showing that the heights of that irony, okay, the heights of that hypocrisy. And this, let me be clear, this is the conduct of, this is Satan. And I'm just revealing all the hats that Satan wears. Right? You're talking about, I'm not going to speak to what is those that die for this country, whether they died ignorantly, knowing what this country is actually engaged in, or whether they died with knowledge. You're talking about what is the ongoing fallacy of free society. So you're talking about what is a history that you're told in the same way that you're told about the sun. We are told and taught about what is the supposed history of this country. This surveillance system, this demonic system of keeping tabs on people in what is a supposedly free society is something of a history that we have been told about. Okay, so that remains very important. And this is what you need to understand. All right. So like I said, it's currently 9:50 a.m. Demons engaging in surveillance, just like at Ovid Family Community Library. You're understanding what is the perpetuity with regard to presence by the demon possessed and presence by a government, third parties, vicarious group stalking. where that environment is maintaining presence. And also, again, the actual sun is not remaining present over a single address, and that's exactly what I'm documenting, where I'm arriving at the Upland Public Library after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's remaining in alignment, indirect conflict with remaining in alignment, by the way, with the Open Family Community Library, but I'll leave that alone. It's already published. But you have engaging a departure from that in the window of the bus as I go northbound on Route 83 to the city of Upland on February 4th, 2022. Where it's present here, and I'm also showing you at what is 9:30 in the morning, the state's light source over this venue. All right, that's the pattern of conduct. It's 9:51 a.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, capturing images of what is relevant positioning. You have what are these are a bunch of demons, and they're pushing strollers. They're under what is a fake sun. And I also showed you what is methods of noise activity. We've got a demon pushing around on a cart. Pushing around a cart, the little black cart. This is a Latino male coming from state facilitating venue of the Upland City Hall. That's audible activity crossing path while I am being molested with impossible light activity, which I also just took an image of. It's 10:05 a.m. The state's fake sun is over me. I'm showing you the state that's in front of me, the light source. But you have what is a shadow that's in front of me. That's impossible light activity. Demons surround. Those demons were pushing strollers. They go inside of the children's reading portion. And let me be clear, Kia, the African-American whose license plate I've heavily documented engaging in P.O.C. here, she calls them to enter inside of that part of the venue after, they're all monitoring my documentation, after I capture what is relevant positioning by these demons, all bearing children while they are here engaging in surveillance. I just want to point that out as well. Nonetheless, it's they are monitoring, and you have what are the same demonic presence while they are engaging in that conduct, and that is what is speaking to the reality of what are psychopaths. While the state surveillance system is underway, there is no explanation for that impossible light, and they are also under what is not possibly the sun, as I am now in the city of Upland at the Upland Public Library, where I've remained, and there was no movement of any light source coming from, for example, the 7-Eleven. It has already been here since I've been here. You're talking about 9:30, and following street for street, turn for turn over me en route to this location. Okay, so that's speaking to, again, what I also show while I'm en route to this venue where I was not already present at 9:30, and you have what is the movement of that light source that is remaining in alignment with me as I'm coming from a different location. That's what happened today while I'm in a vehicle, but doing so at an earlier time. That's not the actual sun, all right? So anyway, it's 10:06 a.m. This is ongoing surveillance. This is ongoing demonic activity, ongoing sexual violence as well. While the pattern of conduct remains underway, it's 10:06 a.m. All right, molesting, license 8HHV456, and on surveillance cameras inside of 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine. The entity is hovering over Country Vias Apartments. I took an image of that as well. 7LLZ713, 5XZN878. They're on surveillance cameras inside of 7-Eleven as well. It's currently 10:41 a.m. Excuse me, 10:41 p.m. 8 S.I.R. 714. And the third party that I'm capturing his image he's a Latino male. He's wearing a silver ring on his right hand, his middle finger on his right hand, and he's got a tattoo that says Angela on his right hand. He is also on surveillance camera in line in front of me completing a purchase. He's the one that's in the parking lot crossing path in directed light while the state is hovering over Country Villas Apartments. 8 RCTB22. Monitoring, by monitoring, they're all monitoring, but specifically when I'm saying monitoring, loitering in relevant position using the vehicle as a means of light in the path on the opposite side of the street. Monitoring with this one is bearing the sign Uber, license 8WXU569. And this third party over here, starting their ignition as I walk over 8MOA163. And this third party's license plate is, I have two shadows in front of me. This is indeed a demon who was stalking, monitoring while I'm in 7-Eleven, 04854B3. It is currently 10:48 p.m. All right, documented federal stalking in the bathroom. This is the ongoing pattern of conduct, and this is just showing all the ways in which the government is violating an American citizen who was subject to criminal surveillance and doing it in the unprecedented manner with the very people of the state, all of whom are of what is this condition, which is very relevant with regard to the prosecution for what is terrorism as it is underway, the ways in which it is in operation in the United States, okay? This is demonic activity, and the demon-possessed are very violent and very predatory, sexually perverted, and demented sex offenders, All right, while they engage in this surveillance, they engage in group stalking, which is literally stalking as an entity. And you are stalking as a group when you are of this demon possession. You are in a demonic environment when you are stalking as a group and engaging in what is obsessive monitoring with communication devices. That is literally the P.O.C. And you have that P.O.C. that's occurring inside of what is a private space while you maintain what is relevant positioning both inside and around that private space, while you are engaging in what is the creation of any method of audible activity. Also, even when a demon isn't stalking and crouching in a bathroom stall, right, and engaging in activity creation, the entity is engaging in an ongoing ceaseless invasion of privacy inside of the private space, and that is the prosecution of a government and the people of the state as the sex offenders that they are. While they're engaging in this criminal system, there is more than one aspect to that criminal activity, and that is understanding the invasion of privacy by government. All right, i.e. invasion of privacy by an entity, engaging in what is literally stalking in a bathroom. And that's exactly what you're doing while you remain subject to surveillance. And that ongoing environment is present. And then you are inside of a private space subject to that pattern of conduct. You are still stalking. You are engaging in the unprecedented conduct of stalking in a bathroom. And that's exactly what you're doing while directed light is inside, outside, and around, while the light source, which is not even the sun, is directly over the venue. It is the presence of Satan itself. And this is the presence of Satan through the people of the state who are engaging in this criminal system and engaging in all manner of what is elements, all right? Elements of monitoring with communication devices. And you have what are humans, people who are literally under what is the impression of a dead spirit, the spirit of death. This is demonic activity. This is demon possession. And doing so under what is, again, the shell, which you cannot see that spirit of death on them physically. This is demonic. All right. And you have what are the demonic engaging all manner of what is the appearance of the attempt to appear as normal while this ongoing state system of surveillance remains underway. So you'll have what is then, entirely demented sex offender walking around with the spirit of Satan on them, pushing a stroller, carrying a newborn in their arm, entering inside of a bathroom where directed light is present, where the fake sun is over the venue, and engaging in even using those children to create audible activity, facilitating an ongoing massive invasion of privacy while you are physically indisposed, genitalia exposed, engaging in sexual violence, and doing it, again, on the outward while you have children in your arms. That's how Satan operates. Okay, and you are understanding what is not the outward appearance, but what is the maintenance of criminal elements, and also that environment, as I have revealed it to you, that environment remains present at all times. There is nothing adorable, there is nothing innocent, there is nothing compassionate about a demon-possessed group stalker who was pushing a stroller or carrying a newborn, and I'm just using this as an ongoing example of what demons rely on. Let me be clear, as I've documented this government, using all sorts of what are third parties, changing the way that third party looks, even including, especially using a company to engage in the same thing. As this is how I'm observing all the ways in which the government is entirely malicious while I have been subject to the system. And that's what's speaking to the necessity of policy, because you're going to prosecute all of those methods of malice. Because that's exactly what it is. It's the pattern of conduct. And you're dealing with psychopaths thinking that they can do it with a different looking type of demon. That's literally what you're relying on. So we're going to try this one with the company logo. We're going to try this one while they are entering and appearing to engage in whatever sort of activity. It does not make any difference. You're looking at that same impossible environment. And this is with regard to, and let me be clear, and then I want to get back to understanding the malice of the demon possessed. You have what is the same thing, the same principle. There's an underlying principle that is also serving to inform the masses, because this is how demonic activity conducts itself outwardly. You're not going to have people yet, all right? We are not at this time yet where you're talking about disengaging in outright lawlessness, going out and murdering in the streets, everybody just commonly engaging in that sort of just outright craziness. Oh, no. It's very, very, very tame, all right? You are looking at a beast that is trying to compose itself, trying to maintain secrecy, trying to engage in what is an entire system of hypocrisy in a country under what is the fallacy of free society, and it is the direct opposite of that. And you continue to see what are symptoms of that while our freedom of speech is violated by not only the government but third parties that don't even, there's no right to do so, and there is no constitutional grounds for doing it, where those constitutional grounds are again relying upon what is coming out of the government's representations or coming out of the mouthpiece of some government actor. We are still inherently relying upon what the government is representing, and the government is not anything that you are something that we should inherently rely upon with regard to our constitutional rights. So you're talking about you're not physically threatening the life of another because constitutional rights are not absolute. I understand this. You have what are using these constitutional principles to engage in what is proceeding down a path where the government is exercising more and more unconstitutional practices, and that is limiting speech, where you are seeking to control a narrative. And if you are in any way disagreeing with that, the form for that is, and by the form I mean the outward appearance of what is otherwise construed as an appropriate, even constitutional and necessary with regard to the concern for the overall well-being of the good of the public and the health and the welfare, if it's not in any way disrupting or presenting a harm to said considerations, then, there is grounds to, there are no grounds to interfere with your constitutional rights to, speak whatever it is that you want to speak, all right? If one says, I do not agree with the reality of some sickness or that the government is stating that exists, and the fact that they're stating that it not only that it exists, but all of the impacts of it. I don't agree with this, and I don't believe it. All right, you're talking about what is witnessing the absolute contradiction to what our constitutional norms establish. And then doing so and then stating that you have the right to do so as the government because you're stating that, and you're still relying upon the genuine authenticity. All right, this is an assumption. You're assuming that it's genuine, that it's true what the government is saying, and then you're still relying upon that, which is still unverified. You don't know what the government is engaging in with regard to what they are reporting to us, what they're telling, what are the policies that they're stating, the information that we are necessarily relying on in order to abide by whatever it is that the government wants. And I'm speaking vaguely because it's a very broad principle. My bottom line is that when you are stating as a government, this is what is going on and this is what we need to do, this is what it's going to be, we as citizens in America at least, we maintain a constitutional right to express ourselves. And verbal expression has now been that which has thwarted into presenting a harm to the life of another. And that harm, let me be clear, is fictional. It's fictitious. All right. It's symbolic. And the reason why I'm saying it's symbolic and it's not actual, because you are actually still relying upon, by virtue of enacting such policies where you are limiting the speech of another who has the right to disagree or not or to agree or disagree with regard to anything that the government is speaking to about what's happening in our country and in the world and what we need to do as a matter of law, what you need to do with your body, etc. We are necessarily forced to rely upon the truth of that representation by the government. That is contrary to the very Constitution in and of itself. And that's what I'm stating. So you're talking about engaging in limiting free speech, and then your grounds for limiting free speech is based upon existing policy. Right? So you are, and let's go to another aspect of freedom of speech, freedom of religion. You're free to practice whatever faith you want, whatever you want to call yourself, but you can't go around sacrificing human bodies for the sake of whatever it is that you believe is your religion. Okay, there are lines, there are limits to this. Okay, and that makes total sense. Okay, when you are talking about stating your opinion, though, and because you state your opinion, you are therefore placing others in a position of harm and death, and that is what I mean by this is not an actual real life objective harm. This is that which you are stating is existing, and we are forced to rely upon the representations of a government by virtue of existence of some said harm, by virtue of just expressing your opinion. In every way, you are forced to rely upon what the government is representing. And that is, again, in contradiction with what the Constitution represents and our constitutional rights. And it's not just the government, it is third parties. And as I represent, because I'm talking about a pattern of conduct that's outside of the state of California, this is what the government is doing. This is what Satan is doing. It's demonic. Okay, and so in the broader scheme of things, these are third parties and government actors limiting First Amendment speech. All right, so you're talking about a pattern of conduct that's occurring under the fallacy of free society. All right, and so you're understanding it, and it is a fallacy, and you see the symptoms of this where they are limiting free speech. Let me be clear: what the government is representing, what the government is then stating that you need to do as a result of what the government represents to us about any sort of politicized policy. You can pick it. All right. We are forced to rely upon what the government is representing. And what is the government relying upon? Third parties stating, oh, yes, what the government is saying is true. It exists because it's happening to me. Guess who those third parties are? The people of the state, the very demon-possessed puppets of Satan themselves. You're forced to rely upon that. Okay. So like I said, with regard to the reliance on what a government body is stating is the grounds upon which they are also limiting the First Amendment right to speech. Physically harming another versus expressing your opinion, which you maintain a right to do in the United States. And I'm not holding a knife to anyone's throat. And you are stating that I'm harming someone else by stating that opinion. I disagree with that. It's entirely unconstitutional. I want to be clear. It is a very malicious method and very dangerous of engaging in an ongoing increase of violating the right to speak freely and doing it in plain sight. Let me be clear. Them doing it to a celebrity is speaking to what is the blatant and bold form. This is that which is conditioning you to get used to it. I want to be clear that this is the reason why it's on the news. This is the society, especially in the U.S., conditioning you to get accustomed to this. It's absolutely unconstitutional. It's exceedingly dangerous. And I want to be clear, it's also in conflict with the very Constitution, the very text of the Constitution itself. You're relying on what the government is representing as the reason for why you have an exceptional policy to limit the speech of another in the United States. And actually, outside of me holding a knife to somebody's throat, I absolutely disagree with that. You have a right to adhere to whatever it is that you want to or not adhere to it. Take whatever, you're talking about the ability for another to choose whether they want to listen to one perspective or another perspective and make any decision that they want. You're talking about trying to control a narrative and trying to control the decisions that Americans are making, whether they want to hear a different perspective or not. That's what you're controlling. All right. And there's a reason for that. And it's also not even constitutional. I want to be clear with regard to the free society, which is the form for which Satan is engaging and keeping tabs in the United States. And let me be clear, the United States is just context. We're just in this region of the world. All right. So again, Satan it's not limited to race. It's not limited to age. It's not limited to your economic status. You're talking about what's going on in the world. These are the times. All right, so these are the times that we are in. There are nothing but demons that fill this venue. Psychopaths sitting around, standing in book stacks, walking back and forth while they are crossing path inside of a library where that which is not even the sun is over the library. Okay, that is Satan working double time. Okay, minions surround me. Minions. Listening to every word that I'm pointing out. Okay, and are very, very anxious as I continue to point it out to you. But let me be clear, like I said, that's the conduct of psychopaths. And it's not just the fact that I'm aware and I'm documenting it. It's around you as well. It's a matter of you becoming aware of your environment. It's a matter of you becoming aware of the times that we are in. You're looking at it on the news. Let me be clear. These are puppets speaking to you on the news. All right. Even as they want to portray themselves as rebels going against the machine. Let me be clear. This is form. There is no reasonable reliance on what people are representing to you. All right. And so how does that work? That works with regard to what I am telling you as well. But what I am telling you, I actually don't have any agenda. There's no purpose that I'm gaining. I'm subject to what is unprecedented criminal activity. I've been kidnapped by this entity that is indeed engaging in surveillance that they want to keep concealed. That's why I've been subject to that criminal conduct. I did not turn into any criminal, never committed any crime actually, but I did not turn into a criminal overnight after going to college, paying for my own education, including law school, passing the California bar and practicing law, subject to harassment by the demon-possessed psychopaths who have been placing me under surveillance for years. I didn't just turn into a criminal overnight, and I still am not. All right, being homeless is an economic status, immediately precipitating from this criminal system that I am documenting upon becoming aware of it. And that is exactly what's going to happen when you are subject to surveillance on the job. You're not able to work. This is an ongoing real threat that you become aware of in your home, where you're working, everywhere that you're going, everywhere. So you're talking about what is an economic status. This is the reality of what the government is doing. And so you have what is every right to regard or disregard. This is for those who have an ear, period. And everything that I am stating, I'm not just stating it outside in the abstract with nothing. You're looking at what is not possibly the sun that's over me. And you know that when you're in Memphis, Tennessee, and you're looking at some light source, that's not the sun over you, because the state is today, right now, at 1:58 p.m., keeping a fake sun over the roof of the of the Upland Public Library, in the same position where it was this morning at 9:27 in the morning, by the way, which is ahead of schedule, because at 9:27 I was in the city of Ontario, which is why you document that. You see that for yourself. All right, this is surveillance that I remain subject to. And guess what's next door? That's why I document, because you need to understand there's no exception with regard to demons who are maintaining presence on behalf of Satan and on behalf of what is the government that's monitoring. And these minions next door, including children, while they are stalking altogether, maintaining presence in the path in that impossible environment. In other words, in that demonic environment. This is what is relevant with regard to what you want to acknowledge or not acknowledge with regard to what the government is representing to us. This government is placing us under surveillance as well. That's directly relevant with regard to what you are relying upon as it is represented to you by this government, and also then that government that also then wants to limit your constitutional rights, while you are also by necessity forced to rely upon what they are representing to you. And who are they relying upon? The very demon-possessed people of the state. The psychopaths that I'm showing you day in and day out. That directed light inside of Dunkin' Donuts, that's the evidence of demon possession. It does not change because you have a logo on your shirt or a logo on the vehicle that you're driving, or a company name on the building that I am inside of, where that same environment remains. It doesn't change. It doesn't change at all. Okay? So like I said, it's currently 2 p.m. and this is documentation. I'm stating all of that because the entity engaging in surveillance in the bathroom, this ongoing pattern of conduct remains. The state's fake sun being over the Upland Public Library, as has already been documented and remains the case right now, is not the same sky space. It is not the same possible location. While I remained yesterday at the same time and remained both before at 9:02 a.m. and I remained until after 5 p.m. But, I captured in images so you can see what is the light source that is clearly remaining over the same parking lot in alignment to me. And all manner of dissecting that light activity, which is also impossible, while that light object itself remained over that parking lot, over the Dunkin' Donuts. That is not over the roof of the Upland Public Library. And that's just common sense. Okay, this is not just happening in Upland. It's not just happening in Fontana. It's not just happening in Pomona. It's not just happening in Ontario. This is a state system. It is not individualized. And let me be clear, when I can go to a random neighborhood donut shop and show you what is the ongoing pattern of that which is impossible to ever occur, not even once, that is a state system. And it is also what I am speaking to, the presence of Satan itself, the demon-possessed. Psychopaths who want to maintain this outer appearance of normalcy, and they don't have that anymore. I've shown you what is their conduct. I've shown you what is the environment. I've shown you what is the conduct of the psychopath that they are, while they are indeed engaging in this P.O.C. Looking all around the other way, ordering whatever you want on the menu, and you look at that directed light while you look at them, Satan literally trying to keep a straight face, looking in the opposite direction, while they're monitoring with communication devices in violation of Title 18, 22618 subsections 1 and 2. All right, so like I said, it is currently 2:01 p.m. This is documentation of what is federal stalking in the bathroom. And you have what is the light source that remains over the Upland Public Library. This is P.O.C. I remain inside of study room number 1. (6YOX838). It's currently 9:29 p.m.